What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports MLB Swing for the Fences show, and we are here to break down the 10-game MLB slate. One game already off the board. The Reds, Indians postponed. Twins, Tigers could potentially follow that up because the weather is not supposed to be great here, or in the Detroit area. So wouldn't be surprised if that one comes off the board as well. But we are going to go through and break down the entire slate. As always, I'm joined by my two boys, D-Rock and G-Rising. But before we get into that, I want to wish all the DFS moms out there a happy Mother's Day. I know many of them are probably not watching the show. I mean, I'd assume like 99.9% of our audience is male. But if there's a mother out there watching the show, happy Mother's Day. And if you are a mother of or the wife of a DFS grinder, man, it's definitely a tough life dealing with us degenerates on top of dealing with kids as well. So it's a truly difficult job. But every Sunday we open up the show the exact same way, and we're going to do it. We're not going to switch anything up. G-Rising, are the Modelos flowing this morning?
Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle? Of course.
Let's go.
I had to hop back.
You're in recovery mode, right?
Yeah. I that's why I had to get back on it. Last night I was out with the lady friend, and I was enjoying a few too many shots, and the peach crown was going down really well with the Modelos. So I woke up this morning a little fuzzy, but you know what? It's Sunday fun day, so it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. So, we're really not supposed to play DFS. We're supposed to be good sons, and we're supposed to be good husbands and do stuff around the house. You're supposed to be out planting shit. But you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to have fun and play DFS today instead. That's why we're degenerates.
I do like the play on words, though. You said you were drinking the peach crown and you're feeling a little fuzzy this morning. So I like that. I like that little combo that you threw in there.
See, the brain's thinking at least.
Yeah. D-Rock is with us as always on Sunday. D-Rock, what's going on over there, my man?
Not a whole lot. My wife, I open up our cabinet we have above our stove. That's where we keep our liquor at. And she has, I swear, every single fruit flavor Crown Royal you can possibly buy at the store. So that's why you say the peach Crown Royal. I think she even had a glass of that last night. She mixes it with some stuff, though. She doesn't do it as shots. But, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. In my household, we're going to be having a cookout today, but at the same time, I'm going to be sweating some baseball, hopefully. And we also got some good golf lineups rolling out here late this afternoon to sweat that.
The PGA is going to be interesting today because it's going to be basically the same conditions as Friday, where the guys off early are going to have a nice advantage. And then the afternoon guys, the wind's supposed to get right up there to 15 to 20 with those gusts as well. So it's going to make it very interesting. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some guys kind of fall back a little bit this afternoon. So I think we're gonna see some carnage out there. Are you seeing it the same way?
Yeah, I think so too. I actually heard it's gonna be a little bit worse than Friday was, and then plus, I think you have Sunday pin placements. Yeah. The pressure's on up top as it is anyway because it's Sunday. So I really think all the leaders are going to fall back a little bit, and it should be a very interesting final 9 holes of that tournament if you're watching on TV.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Our boy Uncle T is in the chat. G-Rising, he says that you're looking good this morning. I don't know if that is like a joke, like you look pretty rough, because I mean, to be honest, I thought you looked pretty damn hungover when you hopped on. So I think he's kind of making
Uncle T's my boy. He's my boy. So we've been winning off each other last week or so. I usually play his golf and do pretty well. Actually, this week I didn't get any golf. I was tied up and didn't get a chance. But I know baseball has been crushing this week. So I've done pretty well this week. I can't complain. And Big T's or Uncle T's, we're always going back and forth. So, yeah, it's fun. It's good to have such a good community like we have at Run Pure.
Last time I listened to Uncle T for a PGA play, got me on Adam Hadwin, and he shot 5 over in the first round. So Uncle T's he has some making up to do with Hoopster in the golf streets. But no, Uncle T, very solid in the PGA for sure. All right, before we hop into it, do us that favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. It helps us to continue to bring you guys these videos on a daily basis. So hit the like, hit this subscribe. We're going to go ahead and hop into the pitchers today. We're going to kind of go off DK pricing. I know G Risen will point out some FanDuel plays as well, as that's kind of his primary focus. But you pull up the slate, and the 2 games off, or 1 game that's off right now, Reds, Indians, like I said, and then the Twins, Tigers is looking pretty damn risky as well. So in terms of the pitchers, we got DeGrom on the slate at the top. He's 11-7 on DK. And honestly, for me, it's just too cheap. FanDuel, he's a little more expensive. I believe he's 12.5, I want to say. Yeah. Just the safest source of fantasy points at the pitcher position anytime he takes the mound. I think, like I said, phenomenal play, especially on DraftKings. The 11-7 is just very easy to get in there. We're going to have cheap hitters on Sundays, like always. The teams tend to mix up their lineups a little bit. So playing DeGrom today is super easy. I won't be making a case against playing him. I think he should basically come preloaded in your lineup. So after him, we'll talk about some other guys. Giolito, he's 9.5. I think he'll get some ownership today. Had that one really bad start against Boston, but he's been fine ever since. Basically bounced back nicely against the Tigers. Moderate performance. I mean, 16 fantasy points, but then had a good outing against Cleveland, 21 fantasy points, 8 strikeouts. So I think he's definitely in the conversation today. Come down a little bit. I would have liked Maeda here against the Tigers, but like I said, that weather is just not looking all that good today. Super risky. Adam Wainwright is a guy that's kind of popping up here on the projection models as a solid play at home against the Rockies. I'll go to you first, D-Rock. Talk to me about this, I guess just the upper half, 8K and above, the guys that kind of stand out to you, and specifically what you plan on doing with DeGrom today.
Me personally, I'm going to be playing DeGrom. I think the price tag might push off a couple of people, and just the fact that he's coming off a lat injury. But I don't think I could be wrong, but I 100% do not think the Mets are putting him out there injured. If there was any chance that he was not feeling 100%, I don't see them putting him out there in that situation, especially this early in the season. The matchup against Arizona is not that great, but at the same time, it's Jacob DeGrom. He's the best in the game. I don't need to sit here and push stats and stuff like that, because everybody knows he's the greatest there is right now at pitching. And it's no secret. 11, there's a lot of value on this slate. I was going through it before we got hopped on live here. So, it is going to be very simple to get him. I can see making a case to not play him just because there is some solid options below him. And, 11-7 is expensive. You do need a ceiling game from him at that price tag, I think. But then going down, another one I think is going to catch a little popularity is Lucas Giolito, being under 10K at 9,500. He does get the Royals. That's another matchup that's not the greatest in the world. Kansas City's only got a 24% strikeout rate on the season against right-handed pitching. But the one I'm actually more interested in than Giolito is $100 cheaper than Lucas, and that is Sandy Alcantara at 9,400 against Milwaukee. I think with DeGrom and Giolito up there, I could see Alcantara coming in at really low ownership. I haven't checked ownership to see any baselines yet, whatnot. But I think Alcantara is going to come in really low owned. And Milwaukee's got a 27% strikeout rate against right-handed pitching on the season so far. They only got a 143 team ISO against right-handed pitching. There's still no Christian Yelich because he went right back to the IL after playing one game. Alcantara's got a 30% CSW with 24% strikeout rate. I love that matchup. I feel like he's going to crush the Milwaukee Brewers today and be virtually unowned. And I don't even mind starting a couple lineups with Alcantara. And then, I maybe a little bit of interest in Adam Wainwright, but I'd rather just go up to $1,400 and get to Alcantara at that point. So that, for me, it's going to be Jacob DeGrom and probably Sandy Alcantara up top.
Very good. G Risen, talk to me about your plans with DeGrom, specifically on FanDuel, and then talk about some of these other guys in the upper tier today that you plan on targeting.
Yeah, for me, there's only really 3 guys I'm looking at. I don't know how you don't play DeGrom, especially on a Sunday. I'm paying the 12.5. I'm going up to him. There's enough value bats on this slate that you can get to DeGrom. I just don't see how you don't play him. If you're a little concerned about his injury and think he might be on a leash today, then that'd be a reason why you might want to fade him. But other than that, I can't fade a guy with a 48% K rate. Also, you guys mentioned Alcantara. I do like him against Milwaukee, but I probably are going to just jam DeGrom in. But I do like the three, Giolito and Alcantara as well. I don't think I'd be going much lower than that. Milwaukee's got a 3.2 team total. I don't really like that lineup. I think it's pretty weak. So I could make a case to play Alcantara, but I'm not really interested in Giolito. So it'd either be one of those two, but I mean, it's DeGrom day. How do you not play DeGrom? I mean, it's just too obvious. You just have to play him.
On the one pitcher side,
FanDuel.
Yeah, on FanDuel one pitcher side, I mean, you could just be totally dust if you don't play DeGrom here. I mean, he could literally end you. The bats might not even matter. Like, I don't want to be in that position where DeGrom goes out there and gets you 60 fantasy points or whatever on FanDuel, and you're just sitting there and you have no chance no matter what your bats do. So I think you just plug him in there. You find a way to play him. It's easy, especially on a Sunday. Like you kind of said, G-Rise, like, we're going to get value bats. Like, teams always shuffle up their lineups. There's not really a standout. I mean, there are offenses in decent spots, but there's not like a standout offensive spot. There's not a Coors Field that you're going to be afraid goes off for 15 runs or anything like that. And you go through the offenses and nothing's all that appealing. Yes, there's going to be spots we like. We're going to talk about them all, break them all down, but there's not any really high team totals. The highest team total on the slate is right around 5 runs. So I think you just play DeGrom, lock him in, and then move on. Is there anyone obviously on FanDuel, you definitely don't want to go cheap, but D-Rock on DK, is there any cheaper guys that you're targeting? The one dude that might stand out a little bit to me would be going all the way down to Dane Dunning, 5.2K. He's had some pretty solid outings. Talk to me about this lower tier range.
I only have my eyes on one guy in this range, and I'll wait for the homer picks here in the chat for it. But it's gonna be Kyle Hendricks against Pittsburgh. He's only $6,900, and Pittsburgh they're horrible right now. The lineup they're gonna throw out today, I'm sure, is not gonna be anything that's gonna scare me away from Hendricks. He has been getting blasted here as of late, but he's playing at Wrigley today, where it's gonna be chilly. I think it's around 20-mile-per-hour winds blowing in. That it's a pitcher's dream at Wrigley Field today. I don't care how slow Kyle Hendricks throws the ball, like JT says all the time. When you got 20 miles an hour wind blowing in at Wrigley, it's just the power's not going to be there for the hitters anyway. If Hendricks was to just toss it up there to him. So I literally only got 4 pitchers on my mind today, and that's Jacob deGrom, Giolito, Alcantara, and Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, I mean, that total in the Pirates Cubs game is 6.
Yeah, the Pirates only have a 2.6 earned run total, which is only a half a run lower than what deGrom's getting.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that is a low number, and it's all because of that wind, 20 miles an hour. And there's no ballpark in the MLB where wind plays a bigger factor than that Wrigley. That's no secret. Team total, yeah, I mean, right above 2.5 for the Pirates. Now, if you're a believer in the flop leg theory here, like Kyle Hendricks, so first start of the season, 4 fantasy points against this Pirates team. I played him then. I'm still kind of scarred. Bounces back 22.5. Next game against Atlanta, -7. Milwaukee, 21 fantasy points. Atlanta, -6. Bounces back with 27 last time out. So if you're buying into this, back and forth theory, today would be a day to not be on Hendricks. But man, this spot is just way too good.
If the wind wasn't blowing in like this, I wouldn't be on Hendricks. But if you're giving me a win game like this at Wrigley against the Pirates, I'm going to be all over him. And one thing I will say about Jacob deGrom quick, I don't think he's going to be chalky, but I don't think his ownership is going to be like as high as everybody's thinking. Because when I woke up this morning, I looked in our chat. And the first thing I see when I looked in chat was questioning whether or not they should play deGrom because of injury. And I think that's going to be going on throughout the entire industry today. Is he injured? And I think that's going to take some people off of him. A lot of people are going to not play him just because they think he's injured still. And, don't let that scare you away from playing him. They will not throw him out there hurt.
Yeah. No, what was the injury? What, something on his side, or what
It was
was it?
a lat injury.
Yeah, because I remember the game he was supposed to pitch. The weather was shitty, so a lot of people speculated that it was, they were just
Yeah.
holding out for the weather. But then immediately they said there's the injury. I just can't imagine it being all that serious. I don't know. We'll see. But I think,
I read he had a bullpen session Friday and he was fine. So
yeah.
So that's encouraging. But
if he's gonna come in at not low ownership, but lower ownership than he should have, I'd feel good just locking him in and then kind of
right now I'm seeing him around 50% ownership. And I think if there wasn't an injury concern, on this slate, I think he'd be like 80%.
Yeah.
Let everybody else make the mistake by not playing him.
Exactly.
I feel.
Yeah. I mean, that's my approach here too. I think you just play them and you move on. All right. If you're not a member at Run Pure Sports, we still have that promo going. RPS Heater 25. It gets you 25% off your first monthly payment for a monthly package at Run Pure Sports. Has to be monthly. It can be just DFS and bets, just bets, any monthly package. RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off that first payment. So come on, check us out. RunPureSports.com. Let's go into some offenses. And like we all kind of alluded to, we don't have like a premier offense on the slate to attack. There's no team that really has a team total over 5, which is why I think we're all on board with getting way overweight on DeGrom here today. First game on the slate, we have the Nationals, we have the Yankees. 9 total in this game, 4 run total for the Nationals, 5 for the Yankees, and this Yankees run total is it's just about the highest on the slate. There's like 3 teams that are right in this range, right around 5. But this is obviously a good stadium, one of the higher totals here that we have. Let's go to you first, G Ryzen. Any interest here in the Nationals or Yankees bats?
Well, I generally don't like to go against Herman. He just frustrates me. I'm not really too enamored with any of these Nats bats. I mean, with Juan Soto back in that Nationals lineup, it does make them a lot stronger. They've been struggling all season without him. So getting him back, I mean, he's always a candidate for a good one-off. And, I say it over and over. Trey Turner, I usually look at him first at short. Every day he's on the slate. He's just one of those guys that could put up a 30 burger pretty easy. But you know what? You look at these Yankees bats, I'm gonna pretty much assume the Yankee stack probably will be the highest, especially on FanDuel. If you look at some of these prices for these guys, I mean, you got Hicks in the 3-hole, 2,600, Torres in the 4-hole, 2,700. You got Sanchez, 2,300, Mike Ford, 2,100, Frazier, 22. I mean, these Yankee bats are so cheap. All the optimizers are going to pop these Yankees with DeGrom. So I think the Yankees are going to be pretty popular today. Joe Ross is struggled, so I can see a lot of ownership on the Yankees. Obviously, Stanton's on fire right now. I mean, the guy's just barreling up everything, and we know what happens if he barrels one up. It's just gone. So, I think the Yankees are going to be pretty popular. I think I'm going to go elsewhere today, but I could see a lot of ownership going the Yankees' way.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people do come here. You get the combination of one of the higher totals on the slate, a good ballpark, not a very intimidating matchup. So I agree with you. And some hot bats too. Like you said, Stanton just on absolute fire right now. So this is a spot where a lot of people will go. Specifically on DraftKings, you get a really cheap 3-hitter here, Aaron Hicks, 3.2K. He'll be very, very popular on the slate. Mike Ford, I think, is going to get some ownership, batting 6. He has a fair price tag on DK at 3.5. And I agree with what you said about Trey Turner. Just so many outs for him to get there fantasy-wise. I mean, he has power. He can get on base. He can steal bases. He scores a lot of runs. So Trey Turner, I think, is definitely a solid option. D-Rock, what are your thoughts here in this Nationals-Yankees game?
I'm with Drew Eisen here. I'm not a fan of attacking Ramon either, but I have a kind of a personal rule that I kind of follow. And right now that's if Juan Soto is under 5,000, I usually play him. And, he's just, to me, he's one of the best hitters in baseball, getting close to being the best hitter. I mean, I'm not no Mike Trout level, but the kid can just rake. So 4.9 is a steal. And, to me, if you're going to play Nationals, it's got to be a full stack or nothing. But If you're gonna one off, I have it would be Juan Soto. And then for the Yankees side, like I said, Aaron hits 3.2K, hitting on 3 tonight. That's a good price tag for him. Stanton's prices getting up there, but it's well deserved. I mean, he's got a 350 ISO over the last 30 days against right-handed pitching. But other than that, I'm not real enamored with playing too much from this game. There is a chance for rain later in this game. So whether or not that, ends up ending this game after, say, 6 or 7 innings, I have no clue how that's going to wind up. But for me, it's basically Juan Soto or nothing, and then Stanton one off or nothing for me.
All right, let's keep it moving. We have the Red Sox. We have the Orioles, a 9 total here. Boston's coming in a little below 5 for their team total, and then the Orioles are a little above 4. And this is another game that has the nine game total, and there's 3 games on the slate with a 9, and then everything else is much, much lower. So I think we're going to see Boston come in as a very popular stack today, and rightfully so. And they do you a little favor because they got Marwin Gonzalez leading off, and he's another cheap bet, only 3.3K on DK. Got Verdugo batting second. He's only 3.9K. I think we're going to see a lot of ownership out of those 2 guys, and rightfully so. It makes it very easy to go ahead and pay up for a guy like DeGrom. So I think Gonzalez, Verdugo are definitely going to be pretty high owned today. And then on the Baltimore side, they're a team that typically goes lower owned, but they're involved in this game that has the 9 total. So curious to get your guys' take here on this one. D-Rock, what are your thoughts for your Red Sox, Orioles?
The Red Sox are going to be one of my favorite teams to play tonight. I keep saying tonight, but today, against Kramer, and they're going to be easy to get with DeGrom because there's some cheap bats in this lineup today. And right now, I'm not showing much ownership on any of these guys at all. So I think that's because a lot of people are going to go to the Yankee side right here. But, and you got Rafael Devers, definitely my favorite bat on the team for this game, 5.2K. But then you go right below him, you got Hunter Renfroe, who's mashing against righties over his last 30. He's only 2.8K. Bobby Dahlbeck below him, 3.1K. Franchi Cordero, a lefty he's a lefty. You get the lefty-righty matchup against Kramer there. He's only the stone mid, 2K. So it's going to be so simple to get like a JD Devers or a Xander Devers. But I would definitely, when you stack this game, Devers would be my centerpiece, and I would build around him. But, it's going to be simple to get these guys with DeGrom. Absolutely love them today. And then on the Baltimore side of things, I'm not really a fan of Nick Pivetta, but I'm not a fan of really attacking them either. So, I mean, if you really needed to, I could see maybe a DJ Stewart one-off. I did it yesterday. It actually worked out pretty well. But, he gets the lefty-righty matchup, and he's only 2.6K hitting cleanup. Like we said, there's so much value on the slate that, I mean, you really just got to pick and choose your spots on this one. But this is, like we said, one of the best game totals of the day. So I don't mind doing a DJ Stewart one-off, but I don't have no real interest in stacking the Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference in the DraftKings pricing nowadays versus in the past. And me and Draft Cheat always talk about it because 5-6 years ago, like if there was a hitter, under 3.5K everyday player, like, man, it was so rare. Like, it's so rare to find them. Well, now you get these guys all the time. It just makes it so hard to not pay up at pitcher when you have all these cheap batters. Like you said, DJ Stewart, you can just add to that list, 2.6K. I mean, just super, super cheap. Just makes it very easy to get up to a guy like DeGrom today. G. Risen, thoughts here on Boston, Baltimore?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of any of these Oriole bats, but, if that's, obviously with a total of 9, I mean, it's a perfect scenario for a game type stack if that's something you want to do. I mean, I'm not interested in that today, but just looking at some of these leaderboards and a lot of these tournaments, it seems like some game stacks lately have been popping up on the top of the board. But I'm definitely with D-Rock here. The Red Sox actually, to me, are at this point my favorite stack. Verdugo's just been on fire. I mean, he's 3,200. He's really cheap. He's been hitting well the last 7 days. And obviously so is Bogarts. Bogarts actually is I want to say he's hitting like 458 in the last week. He's like 11 for 27 or 11 for 24. So Bogarts has just been on fire. And then, so is JD Martinez. I mean, he's a little pricey today at 4,300 on FanDuel, but, it's going to be hard to jam him in and Bogarts with a lineup with DeGrom. I mean, you're going to have some, really other cheap bats, but, in this stack here, Marwin Gonzalez leading off at 2,400. That's not a bad play. So, D-Rock mentioned Hunter Renfroe. He's a big boy, big bat. So obviously 2,500, he's basically like a home run or bust, but I do like that. I'm really interested in these Red Sox. I'm going to play around with a little bit and see what other kind of value bats and see, how many of these bats I can jam in, but I'd much rather go to the Red Sox than the Yankees today. Actually, I think the Red Sox are averaging like 9 runs their last 5 games. So, I mean, it's hard to argue with the Red Sox. They're just on fire.
Yeah, really like this Red Sox team, and you can get creative too because you have plays at the bottom. That Cordero at the Stone Min, like D-Rock pointed out, really strong play, can kind of do a little wraparound here. Just a really good offense on the road, so they're guaranteed the 9th inning at bats too. So really, really like the Red Sox here.
I seen in the chat, they're saying Franchi sucks. Don't play him. He sucks, but he's 2K for a reason.
2K.
I mean, and if you want DeGrom and you want some of these big bats, you're gonna have to get risky somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he sucks. I'm not saying he's great, but he's 2K.
Exactly.
The price is caught up with him sucking. So whatever, that's fine. He can. 2K, basically anyone's in play for me.
If you get a bagel from a $2,000 guy on FanDuel, that's not going to kill you.
Nope. You can definitely still
stomach
get there.
that.
All right, we got the weather games up next here. Reds, Indians has already been postponed, so you can go ahead and just cross that one right off. Now the next one, Twins, Tigers. Basically, it's supposed to rain for the first 3 hours here. It's supposed to rain from about 1 p.m. all the way through 4 p.m. So they'd probably most likely have to wait 3 or 4 hours before they get this game in. The total is only sitting at 7.5. To me, very easy fade from an offensive standpoint. Like I said in the opening, I kind of like Maeda, but you can't risk Maeda here. So this game, to me, is going to be one that I am crossing off as well. G Rising. What are your thoughts here? I mean, you're going to basically fade this one too. I mean, it seems pretty risky.
The only thing that would make me think they might wait it out today is neither team plays tomorrow. But I mean, it's a division game, so they're obviously going to come back in Detroit. I mean, if it was a California team, I would say they probably would wait it out and play. But the only reason I think they may have a chance is just because neither team plays tomorrow. So other than that, I think it is going to be a washout. I more than likely it will be. But if they do wait it out, it's possible. But I just don't. Yeah. I don't see it happening.
D-Rock, any interest in risking something here?
No, I won't have nothing here. I think it's going to wash out too. I mean, even if it was the play, I don't see no reason in this game to even, with the other spots that are on the slate, to even try to risk it to even get that like 1% edge on a player that's going to end up playing later today. I just don't see no good reason to play it at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a good spot. The total is obviously pretty low at 7.5. So, I think it's a good just stay away spot. Very likely, I think, to be postponed. I mean, they don't play tomorrow, but it's 2 division opponents here. They'll have opportunities to make this one up. I think definitely a good fade. Next game, Brewers, Marlins. Now we're going to start hitting these low totals here. We got a 7 total in this game. Team totals are both under 4. You guys both had interest in Alcantara, so I'm assuming you won't have much interest in the Brewers. Marlins side, their team total is also under 4, but we don't have many standout offensive spots, so maybe you could potentially take a look at a couple of these guys. I will say, though, on the Brewers side, again, they have some really cheap bats here. Vogelbach at 2.7K, I think, is a fine GPP target. This Tyrone Taylor guy, they still have at 2K. So you have guys batting second, batting third, both under 3K. Taylor at the minimum. Wouldn't hate those two as last guys in, but D-Rock, I'm going to go to you first. Any interest in the Marlins side here?
No, this is another game for me where I'll probably just be staying away from with bats. I really like Alcantara, like we were talking about earlier for Miami. So like kind of taking me away from the Milwaukee bats. I agree with you. Vogelbaught's a good one-off. He's cheap. If you can probably get some home run upside there. Miami, they're starting to get priced up a little bit. I mean, they're not totally expensive, but now we're starting to talk about 4K players in the Miami lineup. For me, that's going to be a pass. I mean, if I was to, I guess, pick somebody if you want to go here, Adam Duvall would probably be my favorite hitting cleanup at 4.1K. But other than that, this game is just, I don't see no reason to be here.
Yeah, I mean, total very low at 7. G Rising, any interest in these guys? And what are the prices looking like for these Marlins guys on FanDuel?
Yeah, the Marlins actually, to me, are a little sneaky here today. Brett Anderson's coming back off an injury. The Marlins actually hit left-handers pretty well. I want to say they're like 4th in Major League on ISO against lefties. So, I think the Marlins stack here might be a little sneaky. So, you got Rojas leading off. He's 3,100. You got Garrett Cooper, 2,200. Dickerson's actually got good BVP numbers against Brett Anderson. I want to say he's got, 4 or 5 hits on 9 at-bats and a homer or 2. And then you guys mentioned Duvall. I really like Duvall here too. So I think the Marlins might be a sneaky stack. You're going to get them less than 5%. I like it. I think it's I might have a Marlins stack today for sure. So I'm thinking one of my teams, I'm going to stack them up and we'll see how it fares out. But it just seems like every time I'm watching the Marlins, they're just sneaky putting up runs all the time, 7, 8, 9 runs. And I think the Marlins here in play for me.
What are they cheap on FanDuel or
yeah, I mean, Dickerson's 2,800, Duvall's 2,900, Brandon Anderson's 25. You really don't have a bat over 3K. Rojas is 31. So, yeah, it's a cheap stack that could go with DeGrom. It's going to be different. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, so I think better priced on FanDuel than DraftKings. So I like it over there a little bit.
I'll tell you what, that Milwaukee lineup is garbage. I mean,
that
lineup is garbage. I mean, I might like Alcantara a little better now, just looking at that lineup staring at me next to this Miami lineup. That they got Tyrone.
This is like their standard lineup though now, right? I mean, this is what they have.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, definitely not. I mean, they're kind of, to me, like the Tigers now, where you're going to want to target the pitcher. You're going to want to be on the pitcher going against them. I mean, no matter what the skill set is, it's just a ton of upside going against these shitty offenses like the Brewers have here. So definitely, I'm with you. I think Alcantara gets a big boost here with this very, very bad lineup.
This Brewers starting lineup has 6 guys with over a 22% strikeout rate on the season. Yeah. I mean, that's just give me all the Alcantara today with the ground.
Very good. Let's move on. We have the Diamondbacks. We have the Mets. Obviously, this game has a low total because Jacob deGrom's pitching 6.5. The team total for the Diamondbacks is right around 2. That is a very, very low number. Team total here for the Mets coming in around 4. But the Mets have a knack for not producing offensively when deGrom is on the mound, and it's kind of turned into a real trend. Obviously, we're not going anywhere on the Diamondback side, but the Mets, I don't love them all that much. I mean, yes, you look at the lineup, they have guys that can produce, but for some reason, when deGrom's out there, they typically don't get it done. Let's go to you first, G Rising. Thoughts here on Diamondbacks Mets?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with deGrom going, I'm not touching any of these D-backs, no way. But the Mets are always in play. I mean, they got some good lefties. They just been piss poor so far. Lindor can't seem to hit his way out of a paper bag, but they do have some power there. I'm not really a fan of playing, really stacking too much at Citi Field. It's just not, doesn't yield too many home runs. But I'm not going to really play any Mets, like you said. They just seem to struggle when deGrom's on the hill. So I don't really see any interest here. I'm probably just going to pass right on by. I don't even really not even interested in any one-off bats either.
Yeah, I am not a fan of this. Obviously, no Diamondbacks, but the Mets, I don't have much interest in either. D-Rock, any interest in the Mets for you?
No, I mean, like I said, the Mets they've been so bad. But I mean, this this offense has got talent. They're good, and they're gonna pop off one of these days, and it's gonna be in a big way. I don't think today is gonna be the day. Maybe if DeGrom wasn't pitching, maybe today would be the day. But honestly, like, this is a day where I could see playing the Arizona money line at plus 265 and Arizona winning this game 2-1 or something on getting 2 runs off the bullpen late in the game, just because, like, it's a known fact that the Mets do not win Jacob DeGrom starts. It just does not happen. And, so I have no interest in Arizona bats whatsoever. And I'm going to be staying. The only play for me in this game is Jacob DeGrom today.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there, kind of on the same page. Next game, we have the Blue Jays. We have the Astros, 9 total. So this is a third game that kind of has that 9 bigger total. Most of it, though, is on the Astros side. The team total for the Astros right around 5. The team total for the Blue Jays right around 4. They have Greinke going on the mound for the Astros. We talked about pitcher, and no one really had much interest in Greinke. It has not been he's just not an intimidating pitcher. Back-to-back pretty less than appealing starts, 7 fantasy points in each of those last 2 starts. I think the Blue Jays are kind of a sneaky little stack today, so I have interest in them in tournaments. On the Blue Jays side, or on the Astros side, they're going to get some ownership here because of that team total hovering around 5. They're in this game with the total that's at 9. Their bats are, you got to pay a premium, though. Most likely, we don't have the lineup yet, but most of their guys are back. I think you're going to have to pay a premium for this offense. Hopefully, we get a couple cheapies towards the top. We'll see. It kind of happens sometimes on Sundays. But let's go to you first, G. Risen. Thoughts here on this Blue Jays Astros game?
Yeah, this is a good game stack here. I like the Astros quite a bit, actually. Nate Pearson, he's given up like 2.5 home runs per 9. This is his first start this year. So, and I read too, he's not really stretched out. So we're probably only going to get 4 innings maybe out of him. So I could see the bullpen coming in, obviously. And I mean, the Toronto bullpen's average, but these Astro bats are kind of expensive. So, I mean, Yordan Alvarez has just been on fire. Actually, he was my home run call of the day yesterday, and he came through for me. Yeah, I do like these Astro bats, but the problem is if, you want Bregman or Altuve or Yordan, you're going to have to really get some cheap bats. Kyle Tucker sitting in the 4 hole at 2,600 on FanDuel. I do like that. Brantley, it's the only.
Is that their lineups out? I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, I don't see the lineup, but I'm just guessing. Yeah. I mean, generally they roll out the same lineup. The only guy I would think may not be is Maldonado. They generally Sunday is usually the backup catcher, but yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously we haven't seen their lineup, but I'm gonna assume Tucker's gonna be hitting in the 4 spot. But yeah, I do like the Astros bats for sure today. Nate Pearson, I'm just not a fan of Nate Pearson. He's just a highly regarded rookie. But yeah, I think they're going to beat them up pretty good.
D-Rock, what do you got here? Blue Jays, Astros.
Yeah, it's hard not to like the Astros. I mean, they're even priced somewhat decently on DraftKings as well. They're pretty much all under 5K except for Carlos Correa. Yordan Alvarez is another one like I was talking about with Juan Soto. He shouldn't be under 5K. I think that's a great play at 4.8K. Bregman, Brantley. I like them all today. Kyle Tucker, he's going to be popular. I'm thinking at 3.3K on DraftKings, but he's hitting the ball extremely hard and really getting unlucky. He's got a breakout game coming here pretty soon. And then I actually like the Toronto side a little bit more than the Houston side. Definitely think the Houston side is going to garner more ownership, but Zach Greinke has been getting just blistered by right-handed batters this season so far. I mean, he's given up almost a 300 ISO on the season to right-handed batters. So you're going to pay a premium for him, but you can afford, 2 or 3 premium bats on the slate on DraftKings just because there's so much value. So I really like Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero Jr. as a little mini stack. I mean, I wouldn't get too crazy in full stack Toronto, I don't think, but Bichette Guerrero mini stack with DeGrom, I really like that today. I think you're going to get it at like little to no ownership.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are my favorite kind of under the radar stack today for sure. I'm in lockstep with you. Really good matchup here, I think, against Greinke. All right, keep it moving. We got what about 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 more games? 4 games. White Sox, Royals, another low total 7. Team total for White Sox a little below 4. Team total for Royals right around 3. Giolito on the mound for the White Sox. I think we all kind of liked him. I'm not going to be picking on him today on this slate. So no Royals for me, but I think the White Sox are another team that's a little bit interesting to stack up just because they have so much power here in this lineup. So they're an interesting team for me in tournaments. You get another cheapie. Now you got what's his name? How do you pronounce it? Madrigal or
Madrigal.
2.6K on DK, second base eligible. He'll probably get a little bit of ownership, but another cheap play we can add to the conversation. Let's stick with you, D-Rock. What are your thoughts here on this White Sox Royals game?
I'm probably going to be off this game for the most part today. I mean, I was all over the White Sox yesterday. It was in the DK slate strategy, and they come out and fire. It was either 7 or 8 runs in the first inning, and we thought we were all going to be sitting golden. And then I think it was Stevie, they actually put in the chat that he's got the White Sox over 8.5 or something. And they didn't score another run until the 9th inning. Extremely tilting. But, I'm seeing 15 to 20 mile per hour winds blowing in. Kansas City's already a big ballpark. So for me, if I was going to play some White Sox, it'd be like a Jose Abreu or maybe even Mercedes if he cracks the lineup today. I really don't have any interest in attacking Giolito on the slate either, but I'm pretty much off this game as far as hitters go.
Yeah, it's I didn't realize that wind's coming in pretty strong. Looks 12 to 15 mile an hour. So yeah, it's definitely a downgrade. But Mercedes is a guy I think lower in the order too, batting 6th. Somewhat expensive, but man, he's got some pop. So I don't hate him as a tournament one-off. G Rison, what do you got here in this White Sox Royals game?
Yeah, you guys mentioned the weather. It's 15 miles an hour blowing in, and it's like 45, 46 degrees. So, yeah, that's a pretty cold day. And generally, I don't like going against Mike Minor. He's a decent pitcher, but, if the White Sox just haven't been the White Sox of old. I mean, this game's only got a 7.5 team total. So Vegas obviously thinks is taking that weather into play. Yeah, I'm not interested in any of the Royals bats at the price, but the top of that lineup for the White Sox with Anderson, Madrigal, and Moncada are interesting. I just there's better spots to go to. I just don't generally. Mike Minor's frustrating. You stack against him, he goes out and throws a gem, and then if I ever use him, he sucks. So. I'm just going to probably stay away from both sides of the bats here, especially because of the weather. So I think there's other spots to attack.
Yeah, a couple kind of stinkers. I mean, the next one, we got the Rockies, Cardinals, another low total 7. I have no interest in this game at all. I kind of respect Marquez a little bit. Adam Wainwright, I think, is in play at pitcher. I'm not going to have any exposure to the Rockies or Cardinals lineups. G Rison, do you have any interest in this game at all?
Yeah, I don't like going against Herman either. He's especially outside of Coors. But I can't play any of these Rocky bats. Wainwright is a guy a lot of times I don't mind attacking, but these Rockies just away from Coors have not been good. There is a little bit potential for rain here. So yeah, I'm not a fan of any of the bats here. I'm just going to stay away. This is it. Like you said, it's a stinker. I'm just going to move on to other spots here. Just not a great offensive slate overall, which definitely, leads to DeGrom being the guy that you should really be focusing on playing here at the pitcher position. D-Rock, any interest in the Rockies or Cardinals bats for you?
No, if you want something to play here, I mean, I would say one up Trevor Story, but he's just so expensive. 5.5K on the slate over here on DraftKings, and then the St. Louis side, I'm with you guys. I respect Marquez enough to where I don't want to I'm definitely not stacking against him. I mean, if you land on a couple of guys, Dylan Carlson at 3.2K in the outfield, I think that's a decent value play for this slate if you want to go there. But I mean, other than that, no interest.
Next game, I think, is the easiest fade on the slate. We have the Pirates, we have the Cubs. We got that team total or the game total is sitting at 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing in, mid-40s for the temperature at Wrigley. I can't imagine playing any bats in this game. I think this is a full stay away, and it's pretty easy to do so. D-Rock, you seeing it any differently here?
Well, it's the Cubs. So, I mean, we all know the Cubs are going to put up like 20 runs today.
Yeah.
This one's going to be like a 1-0, 2-1 game. I have a feeling I'm not going to be playing anything from here. I just real quick want to shout out somebody in chat, Brian. I'm going to probably butcher your last name, Palinkas. He said he loves my articles. He loves the value plays I put in there for him. I appreciate that. Glad to see it's getting some value out there for some people.
Yeah, I mean, that article is so valuable. I mean, if you're a member, make sure you're checking those out. I mean, D-Rock does a phenomenal job on a daily basis. Another reason to be a member over at Rumpier Sports. That promo code RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off your first payment for a monthly package at Rumpier Sports. Tons of solid content over there. There's some questions about the cash chart as well. So yeah, we have our core plays listed. Those are more tournament focused. The cash chart that we have is something that it's a rotation of me, Mangone, and Titletown. The cash chart has all the guys that we feel are cash viable on the slate, and then we highlight the core plays. So the highlighted plays on there are core plays for cash games. There's someone asking about it in the chat, Fire Money. So my core for cash will be highlighted on the cash chart, which I will be completing right after this show. And then it can also be used for tournaments too, if you're looking for kind of one-off. If you're playing a really contrarian stack and you need some one-offs, you can always go to the cash chart. Those are going to be the more like value type plays on the slate. So you can use it in a variety of ways.
I think Uncle T meant to say D-Rock crushes, but he said Dr. Coke crushes.
Dr. Cock crushes. All right. Thank you. Introduce us to Dr. Cock.
Man, Uncle T's got to change his name in the chat. Uncle T, not Terry.
Yeah, Uncle T might be joining G Rising on the juice, the happy juice this morning.
Yeah, bring it. I saw Big T in the chat saying playing some corn and getting in the corn pits this morning. I'm ready. Let's go.
I mean, going up against the champs. I mean, me and Big T took it down at the Knee House residence. I mean, G Rising, though, I will say, G Rising very solid at cornhole, but there's a fine line where once he drinks too many Modelo's, it starts to slowly fall off. And the game,
the edibles, the everything.
The edibles
got me trashed. That first day we were there, I think I pounded like 26 beers. So,
that is legit. I mean, you had 2 cases and you're the only one drinking them. And I know that the second case was cracked open. So that is no lie.
They were going down good that day. I wasn't even paying attention. I just remember Big T saying, every time I turn around, I'm picking up 2 bottles. Hey, whatever. It was a good time. It's always fun hanging out with the fellas. I mean, you don't even pay attention how much beer you're drinking. It's just,
it's worth it. The pain you feel the next day is it's all worth it. Last game of the slate, Mariners, Rangers, 8 total. We have, I mean, it's pretty close. Both these teams right around 4 on the team total spectrum. Sheffield versus Dunning, not very household names for the pitching. So maybe we look here for some offense. I mean, we've struggled to find spots where we have interest in the offense. Let's go to you first, D-Rock. I mean, is this a spot that you're potentially going to look for some offense?
Yeah, I'm more on the Texas side of things in this game than I am on the Seattle side. On the Seattle side, I like Mitch Haniger and Kyle Seager. That's probably really all I like here, honestly, for the Seattle bats. I mean, Kyle Lewis is cheap at 3.5K, but I like him a lot better when he's getting to face a lefty, not a right-handed pitcher. Ty France at 4.1K and clean up if he's there again. No, thank you. And then, there's just not much at the bottom of that lineup that really intrigues me. And then on the Texas side, though, Joey Gallo still mispriced. You can say he's not, but that's because the reason he's so underpriced is because it's either a home run or it's nothing for him. And I mean, it's true, but 3.7K is for his upside is too cheap. I love him today. Nitzalak at 4.7K is a little bit pricey, but don't mind him. Dolis Garcia, he's cheap at 3.5K. Chris Davis, I think, has a shot to crack that lineup today. He's in there. He is in there.
Batting sixth.
All right, he's 3.4K. I like that for a value play on this slate. And then, give me a lot of Texas today against the Seattle team. I'm not a fan of Sheffield, and I think this is where you can find some cheap bats that can go off big time.
Yeah, I like that call. And then the Gallo thing, like if you're MMEing, like if you're making a ton of lineups, like you need Gallo in your player pool. I think just about every single slate. There's just no reason not to. G-Rising thoughts here on these Mariners Rangers bets.
Yeah, I don't mind both sides of the game, to be honest. Dane Dunning he's only going to go probably mid-70 pitches. He hasn't gone too much. So, I mean, if he struggles the first few innings, you're going to get that shitty Ranger bullpen to come in right after. And, I do like, like D-Rock mentioned, I like Haniger, Kyle Lewis. I like Kyle Seager. But the Rangers side, Adolis Garcia has just been absolutely just smashing lately. So, I do like some Rangers today. Nate Lowe, you got Gallo. Sheffield he's just the guy we're going to want to attack. So I do like this Rangers. And you look at the team, the over-unders. You only got 3 games at 9, and this one's sitting at 8.5. So of the 10 games we have today, this is the fourth highest total. It probably won't get too much ownership. So yeah, I do like some Rangers, but I would definitely be sure to have Adolis in your stack. He's only 3,300. He's hitting in the 4 spot. Actually, I think he's like this last week, he's for 11 for 28. He's pretty much hitting 400. He's got 3 homers, so he's at the top of the majors. Gallo's been raking. So yeah, I definitely have some interest in these Texas bats.
Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, I really like the Texas bats. We're struggling to find offense here. There's a lot of pop in this lineup. There's a lot of guys that can do damage. So I actually really like the Rangers today.
And I'm hearing in the chat the roof's closed. So if that's the case, that makes it a little bit even more interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely have some Rangers. They're pretty cheap. If you want to throw on DeGrom, you can get a nice Ranger stack. The highest Ranger is 3,300, which is Garcia. So you definitely could pull that off with DeGrom.
Were you gonna add something, D-Rock?
No, with the roof closed, it's gonna make it it becomes more of a pitcher's park there with that new stadium, but. It's Sheffield.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. All right, we're gonna hop into the plays of the day before we get on out of here and finish up the content for the slate. D-Rock, do you have a name yet for your play of the day?
No. So we've been going back and forth on it on the Monday.
We gotta lock something
night
in.
Show.
We gotta find something.
We've had the nips and tats play of the day because on my first show I ever did.
The first show when you took the shirt off. That's perfect. Why didn't that stick?
I have no clue. Yeah, I took my shirt off.
That has to be it.
I could take my shirt off every show for the nips and tats play of the game. It doesn't bother me.
And plus, it's Mother's Day. We could have some more ladies watching.
All right, we're taking it off.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely there we go. Shirts off. There we go.
How many timeouts do we get in a day?
Let's see the back tats. The back, yeah. There you go.
Oh shit!
All right. Well, while the shirt is off, can you give us the nips and tats? The nips and tats play of the day. Can we get that with the shirt off?
Happy Mother's Day, honey. My nips and tats play of the day today is going to be Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox. I'm even going to bet him to go yard. I haven't looked at the betting odds yet, but I don't care what it is. I'm betting him. He's hitting one today. That's gonna be my play
the
of the
first official Nips and Tats play of the day is Rafael Devers, right? I love it. Absolutely love it. You're gonna put mature audience warning on the show. That should be a permanent fixture with the RPS shows, a mature audience only, because
and yeah, I'd say so.
Yes. All right, G Risen. The first ever up in smoke play of the day was a leadoff homer. So there's a lot to live up to. You said yesterday it hit with Alvarez, correct? You hit a bomb?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, so the Sunday morning/afternoon up in smoke play of the day, who do you got for us?
Actually, I'm going to stick in the same game as D-Rock. I'm going Alex Verdugo is going to be my play of the day. I think he's going to take Kramer deep, and we'll even get cocky and say it'll be the second at bat. The second time he sees him, he's gonna hit a dong for us today. So I'm going with Alex Verdugo.
Second time around, huh?
Second at bat, he's gonna hit a dong.
Like it. All right, you know what? I'm gonna give the 4X play of the day, and I'm gonna go in the same game and give me Frenchie Cordero. He's getting it done at 2K. He's hitting a bomb for us at the bottom of that lineup. 2K, Frenchie Cordero, bomb. I don't care when, first, second, third at bat. He's getting it done. He's 2K. I can't get picky. Can't get too specific.
We like it. It looks like we all like the Red Sox.
Yeah,
Red Sox
it's Red Sox kind of day. 380 people watching the show right now. So, you better be clicking on Red Sox names, because I don't think that happens very often. We're all on that same team.
We only got
101 hitting the freaking like button on your way out. I mean, the man took his shirt off for the Nips and Tats play of the day. I mean, if there's not a reason to like it, I mean, come on, let's go.
There's three thumbs down. Who puts the thumbs down? I guess they don't like D-Rock's Tats and Nips, I guess.
They don't like dad bods.
Maybe it was the Dr. Cock comment. Maybe that got some dislikes from Uncle T.
Great job, Uncle T.
All right, we're going to get on out of here, finish up the content for MLB, heading over to Run Pure Sports, check it all out. RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off your first payment on a monthly package. For the shirtless man, D-Rock, for Mr. Modelo himself, G Risen, I'm just Hoop. Good luck tonight in your contest or this afternoon.